Hey, Shalom, Barakateh Hawa, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim HaKodash, double honors and apostles, bishops, elders of great millstone that rule well. Shalom, true brothers in the highways and byways, doing the work sincerely and faithfully and continually fighting that good fight of faith. Lord willing, we have found that number to be delivered. Alright, so I'm just going to get right into this news article that I got from Fox News. And, everything that we bring out is filtered through the scriptures. Alright? And this is how we've been trained. And this is how the Spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai has gave us increase. Alright? And being in the know, you must know this. It's not about Donald Trump, per se. It's not about his administration. It's not about the Democrats. It's not about the Republicans. It's not about, whether or not they can come together in the aisle to meet some type of a deal. It's not about any of that shit. This is about the prophecies of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai coming to pass. That's the bottom line, man. We can talk about all these lawmakers, these Democrats, the politicians. We can talk about all this shit because these are the so-called people that make America go round. All right? But these people don't mean a damn thing because it's the prophecies of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai that takes precedence. And these prophecies speak of these people. So it's about the prophecies first and foremost. All right? So let me read a little bit of this article. And the heading reads, Dem lawmakers say their voters are threatening blood and violence over inability to hinder Trump report. All right? So if these voters are threatening blood, what is that telling you? That's telling you they don't give a shit. They don't give a damn anymore. They've had it up to their necks with this political bullshit, this political, song and dance. It's the same crap every year that these people are facing. And we, the prophets from the head apostles on down, we've been telling you. It's not about what these people say. Because at the end of the day, they're all in bed together. Right? And this is why you people ain't getting no resolve. As long as they can keep up the ruse of, yeah, we're fighting for you, we're going across the aisle for you and all this other nonsense, it's just going to line their pockets at the end of the day. All right? So let's read a little bit of this article. It says, Democratic lawmakers say their voters are enraged at the lack of ability to counter President Donald Trump's agenda, with some saying they could resort to violence, Axios reported Monday. All right, they're going to resort to violence. And what does that mean? Threatening blood. They're out to delete people, man. That's the way they're feeling. These politicians, they get on there and they get on the camera and they're trying to be so convincing and so believable. These people are fed up with that shit, boy. But it's the prophecies that's taking place. All right, let's continue on. It says, the outlet says it spoke to over 24 House Democrats to measure the temperature of the Democratic base. What it found was red-hot anger and burgeoning desires to circumvent the rule of law, where explanations that Democrats simply don't hold enough power in Washington fall on deaf ears. All right, and that's the point. Everything falls on deaf ears. These people who are paying taxes, these people who are, going out on the picket line to help these people get in office, every time you make a complaint, it falls on deaf ears. Now people are pissed. Now they're going to be out for blood. It says, we've got the people who are desperately wanting us to do something. No matter what we say, they want more. Rep. Brad Scheiner, Democrat, Illinois, told the outlet. Most of the lawmakers spoke on conditions of anonymity. Schreiner's office did not immediately respond to the request for comment by Fox News. All right? So there you have it. These people are up in arms and they're ready to go. People are ready to go, and it's a beautiful thing because we in the know and understand that this fits right in line with what the scriptures say. All right. So let's go to 2 Ezra 15, and I'll read it. We'll start at 1. It says, Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord. All right. So again, clearing the point, it's not about who's in office and who's on the left side or right side. It's not about that, man. It's about the prophecies. And this is why we have been instructed to speak the words of prophecy. Because by speaking the words of prophecy, we now know the things that we say through the words of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai are the things that are happening in the world. All right. So let's continue. 2 Ezra 15, jumping down to 16. It says, For there shall be sedition among men. All right. Let's look up that word sedition. Just go to the quick Bible search. And it says sedition is the act of enticing rebellion or violence against the government. All right. Now this is right in line with what this article says. It says the voters are out for blood. So if the voters are out for blood, what is that? That's going to be a rebellion, and it even said violence against the government. So that's why we clearly make it a point to let you know it's about the prophecies, man. These prophecies are live. All right? Sedition is an act of enticing rebellion or violence against the government, often through speech or writing. It is a crime that involves actions or expressions intended to promote dissatisfaction or resistance toward the established authority. In essence, it is a step beyond mere criticism of the government and moves into a realm of actively encouraging its overthrow or disruption. All right? So that's just the basic definition of sedition, which now you can understand what this article reads. The lawmakers say the voters are out for blood, okay, and threatening violence. That goes right with the prophecy, okay. So continuing on, it says, in invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor their princes. All right, and who are the king and princes of this world? The congressmen, your selectmen, your representatives, your governors, your mayors, your city councils. These are those kings and princes that the people are not going to no longer hear shit from. Because it said in the article, it said their complaints are falling on deaf ears. And this is why what the rest of this verse is going to say, and this is why it explains it the way it does. It says, in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. They ain't trying to hear shit, man. No one's going to be sitting there talking about, let's go to the table one more time. Time is up. People are fed up. And we of the hope for the elect, we watch from afar, if you will, watch these things unfold, and it's beautiful to us because we know what it means. To the average person in the world, they don't understand the scriptures, all right? And to the average person in the world, what they do understand is what is presented before them, and that's this governmental process. You vote a guy in office, he goes to the table saying he's going to speak for the people on behalf of the people. He's going to tell the head honchos in the government, this is what the people want. All right? And it never happens that way because it's not set up that way. Okay? Especially if you got a new representative, right? In the election process. Let's say he beats out the person that was sitting for 10 years. This individual who's coming in, he's coming in like a freshman. And we all been through high school. So if he's coming in as a freshman, what is a senior or a junior? How do you look at a freshman? Like they don't matter. All right? So likewise, even in this government world, you got a new selectman or a new state representative. They're coming in as freshmen, and you look at a freshman like, yeah, he get out of here. You don't know shit. Get out of here. So again, on the campaign trail, they'll tell you everything you want to hear, but when they get in that office, as a newbie, their words ain't gonna be heard by nobody. All right, but this is the temperature, because the article said the Democrats got boots on the ground pretty much to check the temperature of the people. All right, this is the temperature. This is what's starting to happen. People are fed up. People are on fire. People are pissed off. And they want answers. And if they don't get those answers, the scripture says, in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. They storming down doors. They breaking down walls. All right? Let's continue. Luke 21:9. It says, but when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. But the end is not by and by. All right? So we're hearing of wars. We're hearing of all the commotions. These things are now happening simultaneously. Right? So again, we're coming down the road where all these things are now matching up together and happening at the same time. All right? Which we understand and know it to be the prophecies of Yahweh Basham Yahushai. And we being the mouthpiece, we're letting you know about these things that are coming. We're letting you know about these things that are happening. All right? And why are they happening? This is 2nd Ezra 5, and I'll start at 1. It says, nevertheless, as coming the tokens, all right? These are the things that are happening, the tokens. All right? So going back real quick. It says, but when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified. Right? So let's check it out. Nevertheless, as coming the tokens, behold, the days shall come, that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in great number. All right? So again, we're watching, we're understanding, we're prophesying about the tokens of the things that are coming. Some of the tokens is what? A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. There's going to be a famine. There's going to be pestilence. All right? There's going to be sedition. All right? There's going to be uprising. There's going to be no love amongst the people. These are those tokens. There's going to be rumors and talks of war. All right? We understand and know how to gauge these tokens. But again, to those outside of this circle or this sanctuary of ours, they have no idea about the tokens. They have no clue what they're looking for. No clue whatsoever of what they're looking for to try to put their hand on the root of the problem. Okay? So if you really want to know, just visit your local camp. Just visit your local GMS camp and we can break it down for you and give you some insight through the spirit and power of Yahweh Basham Yahushai. Because that's what you people need. This is what you need. This is the way, the truth, and the light. You ain't going to get anywhere, any information, listening to these fools on Fox News, on ABC, NBC, CNN. You ain't going to get a damn thing, man. They're bringing you people in circles where clearly you get zero understanding and you have no clue as to what they're even talking about. This system is designed to keep you confused and to keep you lost. And that's just the way they want it. Because if they can keep you confused and lost, that means they can still control you. All right? So I'll read it from the top again. Nevertheless, as coming the tokens, behold, the days shall come, that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. All right. So again, we're coming on to that time, and it's coming on fast. All right. And why are these people going to be taken in great number? Because first and foremost, it's the will of Yahweh Shai. Secondly, they have no understanding as to what the hell is going on. They're putting their trust in this system, not knowing that this system has been set up for them to fall. You know, make America great again. And our people don't even understand that. America was truly not our land. America was truly not our place of rest where we could build and make flourish. So when Esau says make America great again, because this has always been their spot. All right? Even though Gad was over here, and Gad was, living off the earth in its proper fashion, observing the land Sabbath, doing all of the great things that the Lord has set up. But the Lord said what? I have given the earth unto the hand of the wicked. So Esau has now been the head honcho of America and all other regions of the world. But the time has come where there's going to be masses taken in great number. And this is the will of Yahweh Shai. This is the will. All right? This is a portion of the will of the Lord. Because there's many things that are going to take place and it's going to be done. Many things. Okay? This is Amos 8:12. It says, and they shall wander from sea to sea. Right? Because as we was just reading, right? Let's go back again. As we're reading in 2 Ezra 5, nevertheless, it says, as come in the tokens, behold, the day shall come. They which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in great number. Right? Now let's jump back to Amos. Amos 8. And they shall wander from sea to sea. Because once people start getting taken in great number, then people are really going to start looking. Now they want to really get in touch with the power of Yahweh Shai by finding out who the prophets are, where the prophets are, I should say. Because they know who we are. But because the prophecy or the prophets don't fit in line with what this government and this governmental structure is, we are taken, we're not taken seriously. Okay? So therefore, that day is going to come, as it is written, and they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east, they shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord Yahweh Shai, and shall not find it. Okay, and shall not find it. Once the Lord starts opening up that can of whoop ass, and bodies stop dropping, babies, all types of shit, then that little voice in your ear, a little voice is going to be, yeah, you should have listened to those guys. Those guys was telling you what was going on. But you chose to walk down the street. You chose to set at naught all the Lord's counsel. And this is the time that we're living in. All right? So the breakdown of this governmental structure is at hand. The uprisings of the people is at hand. The wars and the preparation of wars and the rumors of wars is now steadily at hand. All right? And again, we can't forget the prophecies must be fulfilled. The time of Jacob's trouble is going to come before any of the destruction of Babylon the Great. All right? Anything that's going to go on, prophecies must be fulfilled. The word of Yahweh Shai will never go void, meaning some of the things that the things that the Lord said will come to pass. They may come to pass at a much faster pace, but they're not going to altogether just be avoided out. All right. So we of the hope for the elect and the prophets of the Lord, we have to let you know these things. We're warning, we're telling you, we're giving you what the Lord has given unto us to feed the masses, starting with the house of Israel. And then as you jump into Isaiah 34 chapter, it says, "Come near ye nations to hear and hearken." So this word is going out to everybody. Nobody's exempt. And nobody's going to be able to say they didn't know, they never heard. All right? This word has been published even for those who the Lord has set up to be destroyed. All right? Even some of them make mention of some of the things the Lord is doing. Some even teaching about the children of Israel. All right? But again, it's all the will of Yahweh Shai. All right? So I want to just highlight this article that we went through. I just want to highlight this article because it falls right in line with the scripture says about these people of the world. They're not going to be sitting around waiting for their leaders and their rulers to come to the table to say, okay, we signed a great deal. Mr. Trump is going to rescind all his, executive orders. That shit ain't going to happen. And if you people are going to sit around and wait for these people, these so-called lawmakers, to give you good news, we're not going to deport nobody anymore. We're going to bring everybody back home. And when we bring them home, we're going to give you a $10,000 stipend to get you back on track. That shit is not happening. So prepare for the worst and be ready, because it's only going to get worse. All right. So with that, I'm going to say shalom. I'll see you on the next.